I had a bit of a nightmare because the first band I ever managed went straight to number 1, and I didn't really know what I was doing. Radio 1, they would literally be knocking on the door. What do we need to do? It's like, piss off. That's what you need to do. And he just kept coming back.
Do you have to manage a lot of shit bands, shit artists?
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, look.
Are you aware that they're shit when you're managing them? What's the weirdest thing you've ever had to put on a rider? Or have you ever heard of somebody putting on a rider?
The Enemy put a gun on there in America with 3 bullets so they could kill themselves if they had a bad gig. That's a joke. We were out the other night. He went home with 2 strippers.
Oh,
His fucking missus has read this, right? He's got back. I remember getting sent Ellie Goulding demos, and I was like, nah.
You have the famous line, don't you? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, people like the idea of that, but when it's in front of them, they fucking shit themselves.
Do they?
Yeah. Gone into meetings, I'd say 6-7 years ago, where it'd be 9 a.m. and a lad's having a drink under the table, and he's like, do you want a line? I'm like,
fucking hell. Because you messaged me saying you had a big confession.
Yeah, well, this is a bad one, this one.
And John also said that he's been carrying this with him for 15 years.
It's a long time.
So this is a big exclusive.
I think my wife knows this. Never told anyone this. This is fucking brutal, right? Probably get nicked.
Hello guys and welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour. You alright?
Who are you talking to, me? Yeah.
I'm talking to Jordan. You alright, Jordan?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Stevie?
Yeah, good. I'm sad I missed out on last week's.
BVM?
Yeah.
Last week's was conspiracy theories, mate.
For me,
Yeah.
you recorded last week
Yeah.
with Blue Van Man.
That's because there's a lot of shit going down with the family that you sort of look after at the moment, isn't there?
I was on holiday.
John's our guest today, John Dawkins. How are you, mate?
Very well, mate.
This man works for the royal family.
What?
Great reaction.
That is all we're getting on that conspiracy video. So many comments.
Yeah.
Because I made a throwaway comments and I'm going to lose my job after
Yeah.
you slagged off the royal
We can't
family.
elaborate here, no?
No,
Nope.
what it is he's never revealed his. He's got a very special job, and he's never revealed it on the podcast. And the number one guest that people sort of submit is the fact that he works for the royal family.
So I can't tell
Yeah.
people what my job is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon you've got a foot pump and you're pumping blood around the Queen's husband. keeping
I'm the only
alive.
reason he's still going.
I can see them calves, they're pretty big.
Shaqiri calves. John, you're a music manager.
Amongst other things, yeah.
My first question was literally going to be explain what you do. Like you're a man that works behind the scenes, so I don't know if many people out there will know who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
Fill us in.
Yeah, music management. So basically my job is to go out and find talent and get it into a position to sell a load of records and make a load of people a lot of money. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, I like to try and affect popular culture and make records that actually have a meaning for people and just positive thing really.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a thankless task because, if it's going well, it's the artist, and if it's going well, it's definitely your fault. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, is that like the same with any kind of like management role? Because like if you look at managers in football and stuff, when they're winning, like Pep's like a god, and then when they're losing, it's just like it all comes back on the manager. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
no, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
It is you've got to absolutely love it, and you've got to have a special relationship with whatever artist you're working with because they've got to be in the trench with you.
Yeah.
If they're not going to put the same amount of effort and graft in, and also try and lead the project and like it's all about them.
Yeah.
You're just kind of facilitating and pushing people in the right way and using your contacts to, get them up the ladder. You've got to be in the trench together. If you haven't got that, you've pack up.
Well, you said you want to make a dent, and I think you're definitely doing that because we'll get onto this a bit later on. But you've discovered people like the Enemy, Tom Grennan, so to speak, some big names. Did you always want to go into management, or are you a failed musician?
No, do you know what? I can't play or sing anything. When I was 13, 14, I had a dream of being a footballer. Played about 3 or 4 times for Coventry City when at under 14s level. Did a year at Shrewsbury, then played semi-pro. But I knew I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So,
what position?
in the old number 10.
Oh,
Just,
cool.
My missus likes that one. And
Michael Owen.
right side midfield. But I just went to uni and did a physio's degree.
Yeah.
Which was a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
I got a Desmond Tutu, a standard, a gentleman's degree. And then after that, I was like, I love music. And it was just I don't know, man. I just kind of got a job in a bar in Camden and it rolled out from that.
It seems like, and I can't claim to know many music managers, but it does seem like the kind of role a lot of people just fall into.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear, like, obviously I assume there's good money in it if you get to the top, but you don't hear of many young kids saying, I want to be a music manager, do they? They always want to be...
There's some pure Dick Turpins up and down the country in these universities throwing out these music degree courses. I've been asked to go and speak in a few. I think there's like 2 that are half decent, but I'm just looking at these kids throwing 27 grand at the wall. So I just go and sit in the office.
Right.
Which is what I did. And I went and watched someone do
Yeah.
it. And I was like, you're an absolute shit show. So that's not how you do it. Let's do it this way. And that's, honestly, it took me 6 months to kind of get a grasp on it. But I had a bit of a nightmare because the first band I ever managed went straight to number 1. And I didn't really know what I was doing.
Really? Who was that?
The Enemy. So
Right.
you have this, I did know what I was doing, but I know far more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had a number 1 album since.
Right.
So you're as good as your artist,
Yeah.
so to speak. But yeah, it was a nightmare because I had that number 1 and then I was walking around like I was the Teflon Don and I knew everything
Yeah.
with my arms wide, like, you know, giving it the big one.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue. And within 2 years, I was kind of out of the industry.
Fucking
I
hell.
was gone. Yeah.
What, after getting a number 1?
Yeah, because I had a bit of a ding dong with my now business partner.
Right.
Sued him for £250,000, which was.
And now you're working
Nice.
together.
Now we're back together, yeah. One happy family. Yeah, absolute war zone. Yeah.
So how would you claim to have discovered the Enemy then?
Do you know what? I'll give the credit to my mum because the drummer worked for my mum and he gave her a demo and she just kept badgering me to listen to it. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
So at this point, you're just her son. She's like, just listen to this tune. You're not like, you haven't got your fingers in any pies. Like,
No. I'm at a management company at this point as a scout.
oh, okay,
And
right,
I was working at the Camden Barfly. So, I've had my fingers in a few pies.
yeah,
And they just sent me the demo. And eventually, about 3 weeks, it sat on my desk gathering dust. And I listened to it. I was like, do you know what? This is pretty decent. But at the time, I was tour managing as well. So I was taking bands out on the road,
right,
which is a different side of the game. But I also worked with a lot of managers. So all of a sudden, you can go, he's a good manager. Actually, that's how you do that. He's a fucking charlatan. He's a cunt.
yeah.
Excuse my language.
No, you can,
All right.
mate.
All right, cool.
That's how we introduce each other most weeks. So
Perfect. And that was it, really. So then you're like, actually, I'm going to have a crack at this. And that was the first thing I did. And within 14 months of taking it on, it was at number 1.
that's mad.
Fucking mental.
That's mad. It must be like an uphill battle from then on, then, because it's like most people build their career trying to get that number 1.
That's a good point you say that.
Yeah.
Because somebody said, what is management? And I said, there's only so many Coldplays or Oasises to go. So technically, I'll never, and I'm going to say, fuck it. You're managing decline.
Right.
You're managing decline from the first moment you have that massive moment. It's very rare. I mean, it's spread betting game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're basically investing money. You're kind of managing decline.
Really?
Yeah. Whereas somebody like Grennan is somebody that will be different. Like Grennan's he was one of like three domestic acts that had a top 5 in 2018. His second record will do better business.
Will it?
100%.
Is that a hard thing to predict though?
It is hard to predict, but that is one where I would literally put everything I've got on that.
Really? I'm gonna be so interested to see how it does now.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll come back in a year. We'll be like, how's the dog queue? I'll be like,
At the start of management, obviously, you just said you struck it lucky with the Enemy, but usually, do you have to kiss a lot of frogs, kind of thing? Do you have to manage a lot of shit bands, shit artists?
yeah, of course you do. I mean, look.
Are you aware that they're shit when you're managing them?
Do you know what?
He can't admit to that.
Yeah, of course he can.
Do you know what? Yeah. No, listen. 99.9% of things are shit, right? So
Welcome to Happy Hour.
Yeah, but every band is like, my old man's always like, hey, listen, if they've took the time out to send it, I'd listen to it.
Yeah.
They're shite. And the thing is, right, if you reply, you got to be honest, otherwise you're a cunt.
Yeah.
When you reply, you're a cunt because you've slagged them off. So you're in a no-win situation. It's very, very rare that you stumble on something. And that's when you have scouts and you kind of start trusting tastemakers' opinions as well as your own.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, you'll get something that's great. And then you'll go and meet them and you're like, fucking hell. It's like hanging out with Adolf Hitler. It's not going to work. Whereas you meet Grennan and it's like, he's just so easy to get on with.
Yeah.
And it's like he's like your little brother, and then you're up and running.
Yeah.
Is it not difficult though? Because obviously music is incredibly subjective.
Yeah, of
So
course.
you can listen to
That's
someone
what
as
I'm saying.
shit, and then actually they go on
There's
to.
no right or wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I remember getting sent Ellie Goulding demos, and I was like, nah.
Really?
And there's been a few.
I respect you so much for that, though.
Yeah. To be fair, looking back at them now, she was like a completely different artist. Like folky.
See,
It was pretty good. But
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, and I liked it, but I was like, I don't know what I can do with this kind
Right.
of thing. Not that it was like a guaranteed thing that I could manage it, but it was definitely on my table. There's been things like that where, I have passed on stuff that's done well, but you are right. There is the thing about music is there's no right or wrong.
Absolutely,
There's
yeah.
stuff that's massive now, and I'm just sitting here going, mate, that is fucking dog shit.
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
99% of
See,
main chart music is dog shit.
I think Ellie Goulding's dog shit.
Yeah.
Like when I watch her, she's threatened to beat me up a few times. So I've got to be careful what I say.
Which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's actually, it's accurate. But when I've seen her on X Factor and it's all like, some people can do the husky voice, yeah? She's like,
Rod Stewart.
what is it? It's like,
Well, she has that really weird soft voice.
she sounds like a cat trying to get a fur ball up. Gotta see a bear. I just don't like it.
Footnote, lovely girl.
She's threatened him about 3 times.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
just looking at the door here. Get me out of it. I know a lot of people that work with her, but hey, listen, I'm listening.
well, you haven't said anything defamatory, so
Yeah, and it
you're
ties into what I'm saying. It's very subjective. You think she's shit, you think she's
Well,
great.
there you go,
Like,
right?
I think she's shit. He works with her.
Lovely girl. Thing is, right, a good example is that new Justin Bieber, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yummy.
fuck me.
Yeah.
When I
dog
heard that, I was
shit.
driving along. I nearly pulled over on the motorway.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you taking the piss?
100%.
Yeah.
In a Turkish yesterday, having a little bit of scram. Comes on, I'm like that. Girl, you got that yum. And I'm joining in. I'm like, it's all right, this isn't it? You can
you can build on,
swing
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because we are all like we're susceptible to the bullshit.
Yeah. But that's why I find it so interesting how So we'll get on to Grennan a lot later. I don't want to touch on it too much now, but like with his new single, you said it's very, very poppy, very different to the other stuff that's on the upcoming album. But it's for me, it was a grower. First time I listened to it, I was like, meh. Second time, I like this. Now I really like it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of that.
Yeah. So I find it interesting because you guys have to kind of be ahead of the curve in terms of listening to it the first time when we all go through that mess stage and then going and foreseeing how well it could do.
Listen, we've been sat on that song. He wrote 85 songs with this new record. which is
Fucking
ridiculous.
hell.
That lad is a machine, right?
Yeah.
But then you have to narrow it down, and then you sit with stuff, and it's like you get so far down the track with these songs that by fifth listen, everyone's like, "Oh, that's the one."
Yeah.
People start migrating towards a pool of certain songs. But
Yeah.
then, honestly, we get so close to the songs that we're literally looking at each other in the end, going, "I don't fucking know." And then I'll go and play it to my mum and go, "What are you saying, Jane?" She'll be like, "Oh, number 3 is cracking." It's like, but we've got a fair idea, but you just get so close to the stuff sometimes you can't even fucking hear it.
Yeah. So going back to that day when you were handed the Enemy's demo,
Yeah.
how many of those songs that we know and love, like Away From Here and all the bangers, how many of those were on the demo? Or
There was 3 songs on it. There was 2 that made the album. It's Not Okay and 40 Days and 49.
right.
And then the singer Tom was very good at robbing songs and disguising them.
Oh, right.
Oh.
So there's a song, can't remember what the song is on it. Techno Dancephobic on that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's basically that old house tune. It's time to burn. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, it's the same thing.
right.
So he would lift.
Yeah.
Very, very clever. On the second album, he got caught out massively.
Did he?
Yeah, he robbed off the Clash and Pulp, but it was so blatant that he had to give up a lot of the publishing.
Oh, shit.
But on that first track, he was just relentless, like bam, bam, bam. Like every day, he'd be like, "Here's a new song, here's a new song," it's, and he really, really wanted it.
Mm.
And it was a bit of a mad thing actually, because they're kind of overlooked, so they kind of didn't have to grow up in public
Right.
for like the first 6 months. And then loads of other bands. There was this Best Midlands thing that the NME were pushing at the time, and we were one of 7 acts, and all those other acts were handing their records in, and they weren't great. And it was like, fuck, we built this Best Midlands thing up. What's the Enemy album saying? And we delivered it, and it was like bang, and we just got a clear run at everything. Whereas every other project I've worked on since, you'll get past the first, second, and then you hit a fence, or
Right.
The Enemy just had a clear run, and they're fucking good live band.
Yeah. What is the first step then? For if you were to sign a new artist tomorrow, how and you thought they were the bee's knees, how confident would you be that you could make them something, make them a star, or do you have to jump through a lot of hoops?
I've got blind faith.
Yeah.
It's the only way I'm here. Like, what am I now? 40 this year. It's just blind faith. Because there's been times where I look back, like thinking, what the fuck was I thinking there, carrying on at that point?
Yeah.
Or, like there's so many times where I look back now thinking, what I know now, I'd have stepped away at that point. But you just keep going. This belief in music and yourself and the artist and finding something. And, my old man always says, he goes, when I was skinks, I went like pretty much bankrupt 5 years ago.
Fuck, reason?
I was on a building site, yeah.
Shit.
Earning £40 a day. That's how bad it got. And I was in a box room. And my old man looked at me and he went, get your shit together and fuck off back to London. Because I was back in Coventry.
Right.
And it's the best thing he did, because he said, listen, you've had a #1 album. And he goes, the Beatles have had a #1 album, the Stones have. He goes, no one can ever take that away from you. And I was like, yeah, I do know what I'm doing. But I was just so shot from like a couple of bad moves that I made that I just literally opened a nightclub with all my mates, lost about 100 grand. And then all of a sudden I was like, fuck, I'm in big trouble here. I was like 34, living at home with mum and dad.
Right.
Bad. And
Yeah.
I thought, no, fuck this. Let's go again.
Yeah.
And that's that blind faith of I can go back to London, streets of paved with gold.
Yeah.
And I can go and find that thing and, we'll go again.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Fucking hell.
It is fucking lucky.
Yeah, it is. What was it like crashing down and having to go back and turn up and work on the site?
I thought, the breakfast at home was pretty good because it was free and delivered very kindly by my mum. It was hard work, but I was on the tools with my best mate. I was dog shit, and he was covering for me. And people would be looking at me going, oh, fucking hell, Dawk's the enemy. Like, because in my hometown, people think you're loaded.
Yeah.
When the enemy were at #1, I had about a 10 in my pocket.
Did you?
See the money for the first 6 months.
Really?
And then...
how much of that money do you see then? Did you have a big slice in it or not?
Well, the way that it works is it's an old-fashioned mechanism is... A beat combo in the 60s or 50s would always be like a 4-piece a band, like Beatles.
Yeah.
So the way that they break the percentage down is it's 100%, 5 people, 20%.
Yeah.
So the manager would always take 20% net off the bottom.
Right.
So that's how it's always worked out.
Yeah.
Even though, sometimes you have a 7-piece, 3, whatever. So yeah, you take 20% net.
Right.
And now I split that with another guy, and that's why we fell out.
Yeah.
Basically. Because, we had a misunderstanding over something. We didn't actually sit at a table and have a chat. Sued him for 250 grand, didn't get a penny. And then fast forward 7 years later, we're both directors of a company together. He is like my older brother, so it's all good.
So how do you come back from that?
Well, to be fair, if he gave you the money, I'm sure you probably wouldn't be working together now.
Listen, if he gave me the money and there was Tinder then, I'd be dead. That's where we're at.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, right. Okay, we'll go for a little break there. When I come back, I want to hear what it was like to be on tour with the Enemy. You've kindly given us... so basically what happened was, I said to John, I was like, can you give us some ideas of stories you want to tell? And then I'll base some questions off the back of it. And John just sent me just loads of keywords. Some of them were like, Patrick Swayze. Next one, LA. Next one, The Strokes. I was like, I'd have no idea what question to write off this.
And I was like, oh, great story. You ain't got a clue.
But in the second half, I'm just going to go through these keywords and see what stories we get.
Let's see what happens.
Come back in a bit.
Probably get nicked.
Hello guys, welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour. Still here with the boys.
You are.
Hello.
How's life then?
That's all right.
Is it?
Has something happened for you to ask me? You don't normally care.
No, because you've had a 2-week break or a 1-week break. I just thought, what's gone on in your life?
Well, I went to Malta on holiday and then I've been working. I still, like when you wake up in the morning and don't have to do much.
Oh, wow.
I have to wake up and go to work.
That's what happens when the royal family are imploding.
I know. I've got a lot to sort at the moment.
That's it. If you actually knew what his job was, I'll tell you. You'd laugh at that statement.
More hands than an octopus.
Right, we're still here with John, music manager, top guy. John, what factors are the most important when it comes to pushing new talent out? Is it raw talent? Is it looks, sex appeal? Other things?
You're right there, mate. Is that my foot under the table? Mate, songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, look at it, right? It's like the conventional, good-looking, sing a great voice, blah, blah, blah. Look who's huge.
Yeah.
Susan Boyle.
Capaldi.
Capaldi. no disrespect.
No.
Great voice.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not conventional pop star. Adele, not conventional pop star.
Yeah. Is that because like the trends sort of changed?
Yeah, I think people can they migrate to those stories more, don't they?
Ed Sheeran, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah, but exactly. But it's like, you know, like Capaldi's self-deprecating thing. I remember when initially the radio stations in the UK, they weren't really having him.
Right.
And he went away and like just started absolutely hammering himself. He was very quick-witted, intelligent, like articulate guy, funny man, and started amalgamating these huge social media numbers, and people were really talking about him. And it kind of had like a zeitgeist moment, basically,
Right.
where it just become a point where they were forced to play their hands. And then, you know, fast forward, he starts having the hits, and you've got all these people coming forward going, no problem, and taking the credit for it. And it's like, nah.
Yeah.
That was all his own steam.
Oh, really?
100%.
Really? So he's obviously signed now.
Good management. Not a fan of his manager, but good management.
Yeah.
And just clever, man. And you get these things that happen every now and again, you know, and he is talented.
So is he kind of, you said that the radios weren't having him and he's broke through the mold. Like, is that social media that's just completely driven that man?
I think to a point, but then you've got to look back at things like Ed Sheeran, who, mate, you see that kid going up and down Kensington High Street to every label. No one was asked. And then one guy came forward and went, yeah, all right then.
Was it?
And the guy called Ed Howard, who's fucking brilliant A&R. And, you know, you just got to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And somebody's looked at him and gone, yeah, I get this. I think he's got great songs. He's a character. And then they built him bizarrely through the One Extra world that gave him a lot of credibility, which really came from him.
Yeah.
But he was going up and down, just playing anywhere. Whereas a lot of people will sit back and go, strategy.
Yeah.
You know, keyword.
Yeah.
And, we won't do that. We'll hold back here. And he was just like that, bang, 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 just kept going. Same with Catfish and the Bottoming.
Yeah.
There's so many examples of these where they just keep going.
I fucking love Catfish as
I like
well.
Catfish.
Yeah, one of my favourite
Someone
bands.
tweeted me yesterday actually saying I've started listening to him because I mentioned him once on the podcast.
It's really
this is our
interesting
strategy.
that you two say that, because I always say about Catfish, where's the big song? They've got some good songs.
Yeah.
right? But they've
Kathleen's a main one, isn't it?
Seven as well.
but
Cocoon.
it's not like a Don't Look Back in Anger or a Wonderwall, is it?
Yeah.
They're like
They haven't
FIFA
got-
songs.
Nothing wrong with a FIFA song.
Oh, I love a FIFA song, but that's what it is. I think that's probably, to be fair, the first time I heard of him was through FIFA.
I heard they were banging on FIFA's door for ages, trying to get on to.
He grafted it.
Did he?
Oh, big time. I mean, my missus at Radio 1, they would literally be knocking on the door. What do we need to do? It's like, piss off. That's what you need to do. And he just kept coming back. And it happened, you know. And like Drive is unbelievable.
Is that? Because that's obviously worked for him there. But is that a good thing? Because like, if people keep, you see him as a bit like fucking irritating.
Yeah,
like,
but he was pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, you see other people doing it and you're like, G-eazy, you're fucking 63. Get up the road. You know what I mean? But honestly, it's worked for quite a few people. I don't think there's any right or wrong way.
Right. How different are the acts that you work with? Like, how different are their personas compared to how they are in person? Because like even YouTubers at a much smaller level
Absolutely,
put on
completely different.
kind of like a different bravado and a
Yeah.
different alter ego. Is that the same? Because I mean, we had Tom Grennan in there. We're all big fans of him, and he seems exactly the same.
Grennan is a rarity. Is what you see in front of the and behind the camera is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a complete lovable roadman.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I described him as like a bit of a like hipster chav.
He's a pikey, yeah. And he loves it, like, you know, like little white vest, gold. Oh, absolute. But yeah, you know what? I've had success with people that I can honestly, really, truly connect with.
Right.
You know, and I've worked with other artists that are more talented, but like they're not from my world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm from a lower middle class, working class background.
Right.
Is it always music based when it comes to managing? Because quite interestingly, I was listening to the Peter Crouch podcast the other day, and they were talking about managers, but football agents. Sorry, right? And they get some footballers get their agents to do absolutely everything. Is it similar with a manager? Like every little problem, they'll be on the phone.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's always how you set your stall out.
Yeah.
So if you like, I read some managers that like, I was on a panel the other day, and this girl was like, you know, and I set my alarm at 2 because I know that my artist in America will be up. And I'm like looking at her going, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm in at 10 till 6. It better be a fucking good reason that you're ringing me outside of them hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when they start, they're like little Billy No marks.
Yeah.
They're on their arse. They're coming through. So just keep it at that level. Like me and Grennan are like fucking brothers.
Yeah.
I'm like, he'll ring me up. I'm like, what the fuck do you want? Shut the fuck up and listen. That's what we like. We like,
Yeah.
Because we've got that, it's great.
Yeah. But is it always a good idea to work with your mates or your best mates?
No, it fucking ain't. Are you leading to what I think you're leading to? Lovely,
potentially,
lovely segue.
Yeah, well, one of your things on the list was don't employ your best mates.
Yeah.
This is not going to end well for me and Jordan.
That's what I've been thinking the whole time.
We're literally in here purely because we're your friends.
They're quite good though, aren't they?
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
quite impressed.
Thanks.
Apart from the royal family connection. Move on. Yeah. So I my mate who's the Tyler actually who dug me out actually. So his name's John Kelly. He was like, oh mate, I can't do this anymore. He got randomly caught up in a bit of trouble and he lost his job and he was like, do you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. And I went, I know what you do. You know the enemy lads, going to send you out on tour. He's gone, fuck it, that's cracking. Because do the merchandise.
Right.
Very simple.
Yeah.
We'll probably do 100 shirts a night. It's fucking easy.
Yeah.
Just go and have a bit of fun, clear your head.
Is that how much they do? 100 shirts a night?
Roughly.
Yeah, all right.
So
Yeah.
I sent him out on the road. And he's gone into Europe and he's a fucking handful, right? But the enemy love him. Like little comedy man, right? First day, he's in the van. Liam, the drummer's around me, he's gone, fucking hell, JK's locked his jaw. I'm like, you what? And he just locked his jaw. I said, well, what the fuck were you doing? He's like, he's in agony. I'm like, well, what's he doing? He was like, wow, he was pretending to give a blowjob to a Lucozade bottle. Like, and I thought, right, get him on the phone. He like, couldn't talk. So I thought, right, hang on. Anyway, an hour later, he's all right. I'm like, fucking all right. I rang him. I said, stop fucking about. And he's like, yeah. Anyway, I left him. Didn't hear anything for about a week. Rang him up. I went, how are we getting on? Every night you've got a fucking account. Whatever. Yeah. He's gone, how are you getting on? He went, yeah, doing all right. I said, how many t-shirts you doing? He's on, let me count it up. He goes, I don't know, about 300. Yeah, which ones? The black ones. Yeah. What sizes? I don't know, the fucking black ones. Like, no accounting, right? So initially I'm like, fucking hell, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
Don't know how many t-shirts we've got. Like, we're in the middle of a tour. It takes a week to turn around t-shirts to get them out. So I'm thinking, this is a fucking shit show. I've got my boss at the time going, who the fuck's this? He's going mad at me, right? And I'm thinking, I'm thinking about it overnight. Next minute, I get an email the next morning from this venue called Debaser in Stockholm. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Dawkins. The merchandise manager for the enemy. Because I rang him and he was talking to me like this. I'm like, yes. He's gone, yeah. He goes, he robbed a keg of beer and basically set up his own bar behind the merch because he was doing fire extinguishers. So he rigged it up, right? He's fucking serving beers. He's having it for himself in the pocket.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, right, that's it. Fucking hell, there's 2 days late. Gets back, right, you're fucking fired. He went, here's my invoice for my work. I went, you can fuck off, right? Best thing about it all is halfway through, this is the best thing, the best punishment for him. The enemy had done a massive interview with the enemy. Right? Big 4-page feature. He's gone to his missus at home while he's on tour. Listen, love. Get down the road and pick the enemy up. He goes, there's a big 4-page feature about the lads. Can't wait to read it when I get off the road. She's going, yeah, no problem. So he's sacked. He's going back to the house. Turns up at the house, right? Only turns out that he's not read the enemy. And in this 4-page feature of the enemy, the band have told him about, oh yeah, our merch guy, he's having a right good time on here. We were out the other night. He went home with 2 strippers.
Oh,
his fucking missus has read this, right? He's got back. Black bagged all his bags out.
Wow.
You're fucking dumped. You got no job and your best mate fell out with you. Never employ your fucking mate.
That's insane.
Are you friends with him now?
Oh, yeah, he's best man at my wedding. The opening line at my wedding, right? My missus is family, they're lovely people. Very middle class.
Yeah.
My lot, gutter, right?
Yeah.
There's 300 people at my wedding, right? He's got up, the opening line is, and bearing in mind, it's quite a while to do. The opening line is, he gets a load of paper in front of me, big written out thing. He goes, I'm sure you can understand, being a best man is a very difficult thing to do. I'm quite nervous. And he goes, and he did this with his paper, click, click, click. And he went, I prepared a few lines earlier. And he goes, I fucking sniffed them earlier, so I'm going to fly through this. And half the room's like, yes. And the other half's like, fucking disgusting. And my missus's dad looked at me and he went, fucking disgraceful. On my wedding day, and I'm just sat there going, brilliant. Yeah.
That's what you've got to look forward to with yours and Fiona's.
Yeah, we have a very contrasting family, don't we? My Fiona, who you met outside, she's from a very
lovely girl.
Well-to-do family. Dad's Christian, and my old man's just grafter, lager. West Ham, that kind of guy. So I can't wait until
Bible football program. The two words.
Yeah. And half the program's gone because he's ripped the pages out to make them little roaches for the end. Talking of drugs, how
Great segue again.
That was good.
How
You're from Coventry. Yes, we are the hub. How can I help?
how prevalent are they in the music industry with artists and stuff? Like, I'm not expecting you to name anyone, throw them under the bus.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a problem in the sense of, and by drug, I mean, yeah, all right, gears about and all that, but I think drink's more the problem for me because it's probably easier to get a drink than it is a water for a long time. So
Right.
you have these bands on the road or musicians or whatever, and it's like every night everybody wants to have a party with you because you're in their town.
Right.
So you go out more often than not, and then all of a sudden it's like you come off these massive highs and these big sessions to like you're off the road for a month and you just sat in your house and it's quiet.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of lads that I've worked with over the years that I do worry about a little bit now.
Right.
Like in terms of the aftercare.
Yeah.
And I do check in on them and, but that is the problem. In terms of the rest of it, it is there, as standard. But
Yeah.
I think it's fucking everywhere.
Right.
I remember like in the mid-90s to late 90s, there weren't a lot of coke around. A lot of pills. There was a lot of pills around.
Yeah.
But, mate, gear is everywhere.
Really.
It's a snowstorm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Real problem.
What made the transition?
From
From pills to that? Is that just a cultural
I don't know.
thing?
I just think it became more readily available, didn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas pills went from like being a tenner and they'd absolutely blow your head off if you had half, and then there's lads, 5 years later munching a bag of 20 and it's doing fuck all. So all of a sudden that, and it's a change in music scenes. It's a change in like what's going on. I mean, but fucking hell, like coke is just literally everywhere.
Really?
In every walk of life.
Yeah.
But certainly in music. I mean, I've gone into meetings, I'd say 6-7 years ago, where it'd be 9 a.m. and a lad's having a drink under the table and he's like, "Oh, do you want a line?" I'm like,
fucking hell.
I'm sweet, mate.
What, like industry experts?
Here to do a bit of work, yeah. I mean, that was a long time ago. You don't see that anymore. It's cleaned its act up in terms of within industry.
Yeah.
I think we're seen as like one of the more rock and roll management companies because we do like to go out and have a drink and have a bit of a crack, but everyone else is trying to talk about it like it's fucking science, like
Right.
in lab overalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was something that I never realized. I don't think many people realise when you're growing up like how prevalent like drugs
Oh
are.
my God,
But-
absolutely.
But the reason why I was keen to ask you was just because even from like growing up from very sort of like normal background where drugs aren't always there in terms of like lads in the park already doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you do hear like, in the music industry, it's sex. You have the famous line, don't you? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
people like the idea of that, but when it's in front of them, they fucking shit themselves.
do they?
Yeah.
What was that story you said about who was it?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, this is a funny one, Mike, because I did an Enemy gig in Coventry, and my mate Dan, who I was living with at the time, who was gone on to become vice president of EMI, and he's now head of A&R at Island Records.
Fuck.
Dan Lloyd Jones. He was going out with this American girl who's like, "Listen, we're in Coventry." He went, "Let's get back to London. There's a party on." He gone, "Oh, I'll come to this party. It's down near the Ritz." I've gone, "All right, fuck it. Let's get in the car." Booted back down, because we're going back to London anyway. Booted back down after this Enemy gig, and walked into this party. And it turns out it was 21st birthday party, right? But it was friends and family. And Dan was dating this girl who's her best mate. And I was like, fucking hell, what are we doing in here? I was like, this is levels, right?
Mad.
And I mean, this is loads of paparazzi there. And I walk down, I look like a fucking tramp, right? And Dan, he's like from the north, he's like, "Come over here," like, and calls her over. And I'm like, fucking hell. And when people say star quality,
Yeah.
there's two people I've met where they've got a glow around them.
Right.
She's got it, like a presence. And
Yeah.
when Liam Gallagher walks in the room, you can feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's come over and he's gone, "This is my mate, John. He fucking well fancies you." And I'm like, I went fucking well read, shook her hand, fucked off, right? Left the party. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I'm running The Enemy at the Astoria, the old Astoria, best venue in London, right? It's gone now. And 2,500 cap. and there's like 8 VIP tables. Got an earpiece in like a fucking prick. And they're like, listen, there's 2 people on the front door. They're not on the guest list. They need to get in. I'm like, fuck, if they're not on the guest list, time to fuck off. No, you need to get down. Fuck off. They're coming on in 5 minutes. Don't fucking, you need to come down. I'm like, right, I'm coming. Run down, walk round the corner, and it's there. When she kind of like was like, I reckon. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Let these fucking girls in. Fucking idiots. Started hammering the guest list girl. Yeah. I went, follow me, girls. And they have given it absolutely Jack the Peanut. I'm giving it loads, right? Bounced up the stairs, got into the VIP. Everyone can see it's them. My sister, bless her. She sat there, like such a nice girl, sat there on this table on her own. It's the only table I'm thinking, I can get rid of her. I'm going to look good in front of these 2. I've gone, hey, and I'm winking at my sister. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Get off here. Get out of these fucking seats. Get these girls in here. My sister, bless her, went along with it. Yeah. Got up, moved. Put these guys, said, listen, girls, if you need anything, you can have whatever you fucking want. They're like, all right, anything. And they went around, they went so far around the word of, can we get a line of gear? I was sitting there for about fucking 5 minutes. What? Anyway, I've gone, hey, we can do what we want. You know, I'm giving it loads. I'm really fucking thickening it on. Yeah, you need me. Yeah, we do. We need this. You need gear, right? So I went and grabbed another lad who's now the president of one of the biggest live fucking things in the country. And he's gone and got him a line. Went onto the balcony and then had thrown out because he's a fat cunt. And no, he was basically kind of seeing my sister, but he was fucking her around.
Right.
And he was like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I was like, get the fuck out of here now, you slop. And I had him launched. Good night, that one.
That's quality.
Mental. Are we allowed to leave that in?
That's just a job for the editor, isn't it?
Just bleep it.
Yeah, just bleep the names there.
That's going to be hard from the beginning, right?
I just had a text off my lawyer. Definitely bleep the fucking names. I'm going to be skint again. Back on the site.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever had to put on a rider? Or have you ever heard of somebody putting on a rider?
The enemy put a gun on there in America with 3 bullets so they could kill themselves if they had a bad gig. As a joke.
That's good.
As a joke. And it did turn up several times, which was alarming.
Really?
Yeah. In America, definitely.
But what?
That's mad.
What are they thinking? The guy that has to sort that.
No, but they were just having a laugh, aren't they? But
does he write that reason on there, though? Do they say just in case?
No, but like every enemy gig, they used to put Paul McCartney on the guest list. So if any of the lads would turn up, they'd be like, I can't get hold of the lads. You know, I'm in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney +1. Yeah, in you go. You know, it's like, you know, they used to do loads of little stuff like that. Like
that's good.
Grennan has fresh pair of socks. What else does he have on? He has some weird stuff on there, Grennan. Yeah. He like bottle of brandy.
That's cool.
But he changes up because he's like, you know, he's one of them clowns, isn't he? Oh, might try veganism. Right, good luck with that. 1 week later, he's just there tucking into a steak. That went well.
Is a rider, because that's a very elusive thing, a rider, I think, but not many people know about them. Like, for anyone who doesn't know what one is, it's just a list of requirements that you like, and you want it in your.
What all the artists don't understand is it comes out of your fucking money.
Does it?
Yeah, it's not on top of your dough. It kind of comes out of your money, and I'm always like, you do know that. And now every time everyone's like, well, I'll have 6 bottles of water.
Right.
You know, it's like, because there's some bands that will go out and have like, I'll have 4 bottles of vodka.
Yeah, but I imagine if you're like the Foo Fighters or something, or Oasis.
Yeah, but you're earning dough, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're like, let's say, playing Wembley on a £100 ticket, you're getting paid 2.5-3 million quid for the show.
Wow.
So a few bottles of Jack Daniels ain't
it'd be fuck all.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Is a rider something that, like, when you sign a new artist, sometimes they can be a bit like, are they quite what's the word, like a bit timid about what's put on, and then as they grow, do you often see the riders grow with it?
Yeah, I think to be fair, there's a few dickheads about, but I think they kind of go, look, I need 6 waters, 10 beers for the band, a couple of towels, and then you kind of build from that, really.
Yeah,
but
fair.
Some of them are
ludicrous. I've heard of some mental ones. What would be on your rider, Stevie?
I'd never had to think about that. I never thought I'd be talented enough to be asked.
All right, well, I'll ask Jordan,
Haribo Tang Fastics.
Really?
Yeah.
But so what are you doing in this scenario? Are you a musician? Because if you go out of a fizzy tongue, I imagine that's going to fuck you up considerably.
Water will sort that.
What?
Water and Tang Fastics.
Oh, right, okay.
I'd think I'd want alcohol or something just to calm the nerves. Disaronno, I reckon.
That's the most middle class.
I don't like spirits, really, so Disaronno's the only one. If not, I'll be on fruity ciders.
Have you ever heard of Happy Shopper?
No?
I bet you ain't.
Have you actually not?
What's Happy Shopper?
No frills.
my God.
No frills.
Yeah. Happy Shopper, like the cheap brand.
Oh, no.
What?
No.
How
What do you
dare
know?
How dare you?
Yeah, no.
Bring in the Queen's
There's been a
Guard.
covert conservative in the room this
Hold on,
whole
what's
time.
wrong with
you
Di Serrano?
absolute
I was going
Tory.
to say, what's wrong
No,
with
it's not.
Conservatives?
No. Yeah.
I'll say, how long you got?
No, it's just a very, like, if you're, I don't mind a Di Serrano and Coke, but like,
Yeah.
if you're a rock and roll star and you're going, I'll have a Di Serrano, please. It's like, it's not very rock, is it?
Oh, mate, the singer of the Enemy, right? We were on the Oasis tour and he used to carry around a bottle of, he thought he was trying to be rock and roll. He used to carry around a bottle of whiskey, like a big, like 1 litre bottle, walk around with like half-mast trousers on, pretending like sunglasses, so like, just ridiculous, cliche. Swigging the bottle, but not really drinking it and giving it to everyone else.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, he'd be like, I'm absolutely fucked. I've had 2 bottles of whiskey. And everyone was like, yeah. But he actually thinks that everyone thinks he has. Unbelievable.
What is the most rock and roll thing you've seen? You must have seen some things.
Oh, God. That is a good question.
Ever seen a TV out of a hotel window?
Yeah, seen that.
What was it?
Seen that.
So casual, throwaway.
Yeah.
Come on up with something better
What
than
was
that,
it
Jack.
Robbie Knox said? Did he say like Liam Gallagher put a chair through a pub window, then exited the pub through the window? Fucking
Yeah,
brilliant.
that was good.
Seen, what have I seen?
You're having flashbacks like you've been to Nam.
Yeah, just in napalm.
It is quite horrific. I've seen some. I walked in on somebody pissing on a bird once.
A bird in what
girl,
term?
like a girl.
Oh,
Golden
wow.
shower.
I like how the first thing in your mind was like,
I was
looking at a
fuming.
bird.
Yeah, I thought, is that a pigeon? Is it
Really?
a dove?
Yeah, I
You were
wasn't-
fuming?
that's fucking disgraceful.
But she keen? Was she? Did she sign up for it?
Mate, she was game on, but I was more concerned about these.
I imagine these two lovers just entwined in this fetish, and you come, you fucking stop that. They're both like, no, we're
Funny
up for
thing
it.
is, she was the artist.
Steady. Not in my changing room, mate. Not on my watch. Spillage on the floor. No way. Yeah, no, I can't think. I've heard some great stories about Liam over the years, but
Yeah, what's he like? Because you
great guy and far more articulate and intelligent than people let on. I think he plays a role well,
yeah,
but he's humble, like very warm.
yeah.
Always takes the time to have a chat with you.
Does he?
Yeah, good guy.
Brilliant.
Yeah, been very good to Grennan as well, actually, and his missus is sound.
Yeah,
All that team are good, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think? I don't. You wouldn't have any inside knowledge, I'm sure. But do you ever see a day where Oasis will?
Yeah, money talks.
Yeah,
Noel's a breadhead. You know, there's no doubt there's a problem between the two of them, but it's got to hurt him that Liam's absolutely battered him in the last 2 years.
has he really? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, in terms of numbers, sales, and
Yeah.
that.
I think they've done a fantastic job with
Yeah.
Liam the last couple of years. And I think that Noel likes money. I think
Right.
that's his only real, sadly, motivation.
Yeah.
And I think that
But even if that is his motivation, why has he not done it yet? Then.
I think Liam probably did. And as much as I love that lot, I think he did cross a line having a pop at his wife.
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs, but I think when you start getting personal with the missuses, I think it's fucking out of order. And I think that was the bit where, from what I'm told, is Noel was like, "No, you can fuck off."
Really.
But I think, you know, time's a great healer, innit? And so is fucking dough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine as the years go on, it would only increase.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, I think he put some up about 100 million. I mean, I've heard offers over 300 million from people within the industry. I've offered them dough, big dough.
Really.
Yeah.
So one day it's bound to happen.
When they
Do you
get
know
to the
what? It
Billy.
depends what the lineup is, though, innit? You know, if you're going to roll out some of the later people, I'm not asked. If you're rolling out that lineup with either McCarroll or Alan White, g-eazy comes out of wherever he is, no one's seen him for years, and, you know, you got Bonehead, I'm there for that.
Yeah.
Any other lineup outside of that, I'm not bothered.
What do you think the public's perception is of Liam and Noel? Do you think the majority of team Liam?
I think they are
I
now.
think so, especially with social media. I mean,
think they are.
Liam runs Twitter.
I think what really damaged Noel was the fact that they didn't combine to do that Manchester gig, and Liam still
That for
turned
me
up.
was the moment, wasn't it? Really,
Yeah,
if
but
there was ever
Liam's
gonna be
force in
one.
the hand there. He knows he can just crush him.
Yeah.
The thing is with Noel, he said a few things, like Noel used to be really on the button, but he said a few things in the last few years where even I'm, you know, I know I love them both, but I'm like, nah, fuck off.
Really?
Yeah.
He used to seem a bit of a man of the people, and he seems like he's changed a bit.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
starts slagging off the fans. I'm like, don't think you can get away with that, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird. Do you get starstruck then?
Yeah,
You do?
I have done. Yeah, I have with not starstruck with Liam, but like I'm not like I'm with you. I'll be very kind of straight.
Yeah.
I don't want to be their mates. You know what I mean? The people that you've like, Liam was on my wall from the age of 13. You know what I mean? I went to every major Oasis moment in the UK. I've probably been there.
Yeah.
I was a massive fan, but I don't want to be his pal. There's been opportunities where I could go down the pub and Liam's there and all that, and I'm like, I never forced that. I think you know. So Liam's a big one for me when I was younger, and then some of the random ones like Lee Mathers, who was the singer of the Lars, who's like this massive recluse.
Yeah. So it's more so people that you're a fan of in terms of people that are just big by
but then
proxy.
you know, it's like, hey, here's Justin Bieber. Couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like my missus was sat with him having Nando's. Yeah, good for you, mate. What you on, medium?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is it yummy?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't care about things like that.
No, I'm the same.
Like, I met that guy, that rapper G-Eazy.
Right.
And he's such a prick. He was going out with Halsey, and we had Charlie XCX on the tour.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of to do there with him and Charlie and all that. And I was with Charlie, so I thought, well, I'm going to mug him right off in front of her. And he's with Halsey with his arm around her. And I've literally got off an overnight flight.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll have a few beers. I'm in this green room, and I don't drink all the time. So all of a sudden, I'm thinking halfway through a forward roll in the backstage party. I'm a bit pissed here with a beer in my hand. Forward roll, brilliant, right? And I've got up and I've gone, all right, mate, what's your name? And everyone was like, he's gone, oh, g-eazy. What? What's your name? G-eazy. What's your name? I went, John. He went, what do you do, man? I went, I'm a painter and decorator. And then I went, what do you do? And he went, I'm a rapper. And I went, what are you rapping? Rapping like gifts or something. He was like, no, I'm a rapper. I'm sorry, mate. Nice to meet you, G-Money. Okay, he's a right dickhead. Obviously, I knew who he was, but get to fuck.
Yeah. That's class.
You've got to have a bit of fun with that. Like,
I love that, mate. I love that. John, what's been the standout moment of your career? Was it The Enemy?
Yeah.
Has it all been downhill from there?
It's all went downhill, mate. 27 now, 13 years later. I think so far. I think having a number one album is, you know...
That's the pinnacle, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely. That's been a big moment, definitely. Supporting Oasis with them on their last ever tour.
Yeah.
They opened the show with Kasabian and then Oasis. That was pretty mad.
Yeah.
Because I'd obviously followed Oasis from like 93, 94 onward.
What's your opinion of fame?
Yeah, it's a good question. Funny one, fame. I always say to any artist that I work with that, you know, you sure? Because once, you know, and as you will know, once you press the button, there's no going back. So some people can handle it, some can't. It brings anxiety, mental health issues. You know, it makes you change yourself. It affects your family around you. No, it's multifaceted fame, and it can be a nasty and, you know, isolating world. But also it's when you're famous, but it's, you know, let's say your band's split up, but you're still famous, and it's like that. I've had artists where they're like, I can't go and get a real job. I'm just going to look like I can, because it's so brutal for them to go from such a high level to then fucking hell, to the point where I remember one artist going up, I might just move to America where no one knows me.
Oh, mad.
Get a job in a coffee shop. I'd just be happy doing that. You know, it's like, so it is a difficult thing. And it depends how you caught it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. So if for example, Tom, who obviously you're good friends with and you managed to come to you and he was struggling mentally, how that's a massive duty of care on your shoulders then, isn't it?
Absolutely, mate. You know, and you know, probably come across on here, I'm pretty opinionated character and, you know, I'm not afraid of anything, but, you know, I've had counselling. You know, I've been in therapy. Not many people know that. I'll share that on here. No problem. And, you know, I think at some point in everyone's life, you'll have a wobble.
Yeah.
So for me, for my artist, it's quite lucky that I've kind of been there, I think, because I was the guy that would always take the piss out of it.
Yeah.
But
that's just about being British, though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, a stiff upper lip and, what's up with you know, cheer up, you know, nonsense.
Yeah.
You know? And I've been there, and you know, if Tom's struggling, then, you know, I always say to my, put your hand up.
Yeah.
Give me a call, you know, let's deal with it.
Yeah.
And we'll go and deal with it, and we'll see the right people. And, you know, doing a degree in sports science and rehabilitation, I'm fortunate to know people in certain walks of life that, you know, are full-time psychologists and they'll, you know, depending on if it's cognitive therapy or whatever therapy it is, you know, let's get it sorted. And, you know, health is wealth. You know, it's all about, you know, and if there's a problem with my artist and the label, we've got to get the single out next week. It's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, you know, and if, you know, their family.
Their well-being over the revenue and stuff like that.
I don't give a shit about money.
What
I'll
about,
never make a decision based on money.
Really?
Nah.
what about when the fame starts to fade? Because obviously that's the other thing.
Yeah, it's tough, like I said to you. It's like
chasing
managing
the high,
decline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chasing the high, yeah. But that, again, duty of care, isn't it? It's like, how often do you put your arm around someone, And it's like, using a football analogy, it's like you can hear the same voice relentlessly and you just switch off in the end. It's just knowing how to, manage that particular person. Are they touch tight? Are you hugging them a lot, or are you keeping them at arm's length? And, each people are different.
Yeah.
But with Grennan's like my little brother, that's family.
Yeah.
It's a very different thing.
Yeah.
So I treat him that way and he does vice versa.
Yeah.
But if there's a problem, we go and get it sorted and everything else is on pause.
Right. What's next for you and Tom?
He's got a single out at the minute, which is doing really well. Then we're going to announce the album and the tour in March. Album's out May. No one knows that, but fuck it. And then
Exclusive.
Exclusive for the podcast. and then a handful of UK festivals. We're going to be polite on that front. Loads of European. Then a big UK, European, American tour, and then.
Amazing. The world is your oyster.
World domination.
Nice.
Well, Tom's welcome back whenever, as are you.
He absolutely loved his time on here last time.
He was good. He was good. What's your big confession? Because you messaged me saying you had a big confession.
Yeah, well, this is a bad one, this one.
And John also said that he's been carrying this with him for 15 years.
It's a long time.
So this is a big exclusive.
I think my wife knows this.
Right, you think.
Okay.
You think. But Stevie White's about to know.
This is the important part.
Yeah.
Not all. Well, look, I think basically I used to run the Barfly in Camden, right? It's now called the Camden Assembly. Right? It's where I really started out. And, I did the first ever Strokes gig there. I was at loads of proper moments there. It was a fucking amazing place to work. And my cousin rang me up and he went, why don't you come to Los Angeles? I'm like, keep talking. And he went, just tune my guitar. I said, well, I don't know how to tune a guitar. He went, go and learn. It ain't fucking rocket science. Get yourself a flight, come over here. We'll do a big 6-month tour. Live in my house. I was like, well, I'm on this. It's a big moment for me. I'm on my arse. I got no dough, right? And I know this lad who's never told anyone this. This is fucking brutal, right? Probably get nicked. Get on ready outside. And it's really embarrassing this, but I'm going to hold my hands up to it now. And I think I've made amends, right? The lad who was delivering the beers, I said, oh, it's your last day today, and he went, yeah. I went, all right, well, I was putting the order in. There was 4 barrels getting delivered, right? Well, more than that, but I said, throw a couple of barrels on, there's £100 for yourself. Because I knew then that I had 2 barrels that no one knew about. He ain't asked, he's leaving his job. That I could work behind that bar and take the fucking dough, right? Because I needed this money to get that flight. Because in my head, if I get there, I'm up and running then in management. Yeah. I'm 22, 23.
Yeah.
Must have done them for about £500-600 over 2 nights, right? A lot of money, right? It's fucking bad. I've never robbed anything in my life.
Yeah.
I'm really embarrassed by it. Paid for my flight, did another couple of shifts, right? Did my last shift, never took a fucking penny again, right? And then on the last shift, right, this is terrible. There's a girl working there who was a cunt, right? And she'd obviously been taking £20 here and there every shift. Right?
Yeah.
Quarter, red-handed, fucking old Bill, right? They had old Bill in surveying. They caught her red-handed. She was South African. She got fucking nicked, fined, and deported. Right? Yeah. I'm there thinking it was fucking me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd cover myself because I'd done that deal with that lad outside. So technically, they didn't know about it. I justified it myself. Fucked up to America, right? I'm on my arse. I've got to America. I've got about £100. I'm like, fucking hell, right? It's the only time I've ever done anything like that. I couldn't handle it, right? And I carried that for years. So I used to go to the Barfly, right? There's loads of them. And every time it would be a Barfly, I'd be like, get us 3 beers. And it'd be like £9. I'd be like, here's £40. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Tip for you.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'd worked it back up to £500.
Right.
Yeah.
So in my head, technically to that company, I'd paid it back.
Yeah.
Still not good enough for me. Right?
Yeah.
So every year, no one knows this, every year I give £500 to charity every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair play.
But I still feel like a bastard.
Because there's some poor sod.
But I needed that money so desperately.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've got to, I don't know where I'm getting it from.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see, this is the thing. Like,
Loophole.
It's
It's a
illegal.
loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but you kind of get it. Like people, you have to graft your way to things, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to.
I'm intrigued by the fact that your best friend then went on to do something similar at the merch stands.
I mean, there's something in the water, isn't
Yeah, and you fired him for it.
The irony, eh? Fucking hell.
There we go. This has been a Jack Mate's Happy Hour. John Dawkins, music manager. What is it? Dawkins Cov 1980 on Twitter.
That's the one. John Dawkins, music manager and thief.
What a lovely note to end it on. And if you do want any tickets for any of his gigs, get in contact with
yeah, good one.
See you later, guys. John, cheers.
See ya.